Hello, hello.
Hey,
Thank
Rachel.
you. How are you doing, Mayor?
I'm doing great. I hope you are doing well today.
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for everyone who is joining us live on any of our platforms, whether it be Facebook or YouTube. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. We are going to talk to quite a few great people, great businesses, and you have the opportunity to interact not only with those guest participants, but also with our very own Mayor Ronnie Currin. So, Mayor, I turn it over to you now.
Well, thank you, Rachel. What's happening in Rolesville? There's a lot of things happening, but sometimes some things happen that's not very good and sad. And I think today was a sad day in Rolesville with the passing of our mayor, Frank Eagles. He served 12 years as our mayor, brought us from a small little town up to the nice town that we all have today with the people that we have. He put a lot of vision, a lot of thoughts into that. Worked very hard, and he lost his battle today. And we certainly will miss him. But like I said, we will never forget him. So I know you had a relationship with him, Rachel. Got to know him pretty well while he was mayor.
I did. I always tell people, I've talked about Frank so much today. I tell people when I first came into this role 4 years ago, I sat down with him and talked to him, and he gave me everything that he had for his vision of what the Roseville Chamber should be doing. He also shared with me his vision for Roseville. So there are things that I love to see. I know the high school was one of the things that he was so passionate about, and getting that high school built here in Roseville. Also, looking towards a library, that was something he was passionate about. And then also food security and working with quite a few people in Wake County and their administration and helping people in the community. Frank had a huge heart. And also being a veteran, he had a huge heart for veterans too. So he's done quite a lot. He has an awesome legacy that he's left here, not only in Roseville, but also in the county as a whole. So definitely was a hard loss today. And I will say for this, if anyone can definitely keep Pam, his wife, in your prayers. They've been together for such a long time. Please keep them in your prayers for sure.
Yep, certainly. And we all praying for Frank and his family today. And you're right. He worked so hard to get a lot of things that we have in town today that we probably would not have if it wasn't for his hard work. And as you mentioned, the food services and stuff, he was still doing that even after he retired from his mayor's job 2 years ago. He was still helping out with food. I know during the COVID pandemic, he was on the first line out there still delivering food, even in the crisis we were in and the danger that we were in. He was still doing that and did it up to the time that he became sick and wasn't able to do it anymore. Just a tremendous man, just a tremendous mayor for Rolesville. Probably the last one that I can remember that served that many years, or 12 years, is a long time. And I think that is a testimony of what the people felt for him to be in office that long. And we will, like I said, we will certainly miss him. And certainly let's leave all his family in prayer for the next few days if we can.
And I do want to say, for those that are joining us online, definitely felt, thank you so much, Jack, for your comments. We do appreciate it. And also, we have Patrick Michael Delaney, who said the Roseville High mascot should be the Eagle. So we definitely appreciate that. And thank you so much for joining us. We do know how much Frank loved Roseville High School and how hard he fought to get that here in our community. So we're definitely appreciative of that.
Certainly.
So, Mayor, we have quite a few guests lined up tonight, some really awesome people lined up for us tonight. And I know that I won't take a lot of the thunder. I mean, I've had a great time working with this business here in Rolesville. They are a chamber member, but they're awesome. It's such a great addition to our community and such a great addition to have them around. And I was so excited when I saw that they were joining the show, because I will say, I mean, it definitely is something to be said for this and having them on Main Street, which is the law office of Michael Paul. So we're
Yep.
definitely appreciative of that.
Well, thank you, Rachel. Let's bring Mike on. I just got to know Michael since he opened his business, and you're exactly right. The things you said, immediately, he was a magnet type personality, and very good for the town. And welcome, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for coming on. And I was trying to think back. I think your ribbon cutting was the first one that we did after post-pandemic time. And there's a picture of it. Great turnout for this first time. I think that was really the first time that I had got to meet you. I think we may have changed some emails before then. But do you remember this event, Michael?
Certainly did. It's been the highlight of the year to have everyone out. And as Rachel mentioned, we did join the Rolesville Chamber. My wife and I, and she's right there next to me, our goal is to be an integral part of this community. And we knew that joining the chamber was instrumental in helping with that. And it was such an outpouring from the other businesses in town to have them all come out. And I understand it was, like you said, the first real public, opening since the pandemic hit. So, but I'm happy that they all came out to our opening. It was a great support group, and we've gotten to know a number of the other chamber members and are working with them. Has been just a wonderful thing for us, and hopefully for the rest of the community.
That's right, Michael. And I know you have been in the community for a while. You're not new to Rolesville, but your business is. So I guess something triggered you while you was living here to consider moving, and that's a big risk. I'm pretty sure to take the big risk of moving a business from, I think you would maybe in Raleigh to Rolesville. What led you to make that decision to put your business here?
Well, we were, as you said, we've lived here a little over 6 years now. We love the town. We're so happy we moved here. We moved from North Raleigh and just wanted a little more breathing room, which we're happy that we have here in Rolesville. And before the pandemic, we were probably a week away from signing a lease for space over on Falls and News Road in Raleigh. And the pandemic hit, everything was put to a stop. But even though we were going through the pandemic, we were watching our neighborhood and watching the various farms get bought up and converted into subdivisions, and even now bigger things, as you'll be talking about later with Cobblestone, and last month talking about Walbrook. So we just said, we want to work in our community. We want to grow with our community. Let's put a stake in the ground and let everyone know we're here. And that's exactly what we did. And we're so happy every day that we've done that. It's been incredible.
We're certainly happy for you to have done that also, Michael, and welcome to the community that way. I think with that, you had been here for a while, but is it safe to say you have become much more engaged and got more involved in the community from that perspective when you joined the chamber and brought your business here?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, the support was wonderful, and we've had numerous occasions to reach out to other chamber members, and we've gotten referrals from other chamber members bringing clients to us. It's just a wonderful symbiotic relationship that we have with a number of professionals that we were working with. Valerie Massengill over at Edward Jones, Terry Simmons, CPA, and fabulous people, very good at what they do. And it's just been a wealth of resources that we have right here in town for us to help our clients and for them to do the same with us.
Well, great. One thing about what we're trying to do here on the show is to maybe let people learn some things or educate some things. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your business and what you do with wills and trust and that type of thing. And I guess just to give an example, I would say I'm in my early 60s. probably getting close to retirement, grown kids. Why would I need a will? What is the purpose that I would have to need one?
Couple things. First and foremost, I would say it's peace of mind. It's knowing that when you pass, and I suspect you'll be around for many, many, many years to come, but when that day eventually happens, that you have the comfort of knowing that your wishes will be fulfilled and followed through because you put it in writing. And that's exactly what a will does. It lets your loved ones, your family, and the rest of the world know that when I pass, this is what's going to happen with what we call, your estate, the assets that you spent your lifetime building and accumulating, so that, it goes to the ones that you want it to go to.
Right. Well, what about, you hear a lot about older people getting wills like my age and maybe in their 50s or something like that. What about the need for young? We have a daughter that just turned 30. We had our first grandchild a couple weeks ago. Married couple, one small infant. Why would they need a will?
Well, first of all, congratulations on your granddaughter.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful thing.
I had to get that in there somewhere, Michael.
I don't blame you. I'd be proud as a peacock as well. It's a great thing. So, and I understand you're going to visit pretty soon. So that's
hopefully go next weekend. So,
and I hope you get to go often.
Thank you.
It's a great thing for a grandchild to know his or her grandparents. I have close relationships with mine, so I understand that. But to your question, a will is there just in case. No one expects anything bad to happen, but unfortunately, things do happen. None of us live forever, and some go a lot earlier than they should or that others do. So, especially with a child, it's to really protect them and ensure that, one, who you get to designate who will raise your child. What if the parents both perish in a car accident? Who's going to raise the child? The last thing we want is for the state to make that determination for us. And the state has preset rules. If you don't have a will, the state's going to dictate where your money goes and who's going to raise your child. And I don't think anyone really wants the state to make that decision for them.
That's a good point. In talking about that, if I do some research on what you do there, there's really basically three things you need: a will, a living will, and the other one is maybe a power of attorney. What do those things mean? Sure.
And we have what we call a will package, and there are 4 documents. So you got 3 of them. There's one other one. So there is the will, there's the living will or advanced care directive, and I'll get back to that in a minute. There's the power of attorney, which really allows someone to manage your finances should something happen and you're incapacitated. So you're still alive, but just can't manage your affairs for whatever reason. And then there's a healthcare power of attorney. And the healthcare power of attorney allows a loved one to make the healthcare decisions for you should you be in an accident or something else and you're not able to communicate with the doctors yourself. Either you're unconscious or you may have tubes down your throat, something like that. So those are the 4 documents, and that's a pretty complete package for someone so that they can rest easy knowing that their affairs will be taken care of should something happen, so that they're injured and incapacitated, or worse, that they pass away. Right.
So, do you, in your opinion, do everyone need one?
A will? Does everyone need a will? Pretty much everyone does. If you own anything and you have loved ones that you want to leave it to, then you need a will. And I'll just expand on one piece of what we talked about. In today's world, the healthcare power of attorney and even the durable power of attorney are important for our young adults. Once our children turn 18, we no longer have a say in what happens to them should they get in a car accident. So when our son turned 18 earlier this year, we wished him happy birthday and then said, here, you got to sign this. And it was a healthcare power of attorney and a durable power of attorney, so that even though they're on our health insurance, we can't have any say if he is sent to the hospital. So now with the documents that we have, we can, and we can talk directly with the doctors. They can pass on information, and we can be involved in the decisions that are made should that get to that point.
Yeah, and I think most people don't know that, Michael. I think I guess we don't do a very good job of educating people on the needs for it. I know your website, you use the terminology of control your life efforts, and I guess you've seen examples where people's life efforts was out of control once they passed away or something.
Well, unfortunately, I won't bore you with the horror stories, but we have too many incidents where someone has passed away without a will, and it just creates mayhem, and through not necessarily any fault of the family members, but without any direction. It just, too many chiefs are in there and trying to figure out what to do, and it can make a big mess of things, whereas a simple will would have clarified everything and put order into the chaos.
Well, that's good. In looking at your website here, we have it up if somebody wants to jot that down and check it out. One of the things you talked about is you don't just do this estate planning will type thing, but you also are getting more into real estate type services, I believe. So do you just see that as a good opportunity in Rolesville to use some real estate, some of your real estate skills here?
Well, thank you for saying that, because I don't want to look like we're an opportunist, but I do have 15 years or so in the mortgage industry and know it pretty well. From the day we opened our doors, we've done a lot of deed work. There's a lot of land in this area. People inherit it, but they don't always get the deeds changed over to the new owners. And then, especially with these farms, someone wants to sell it, and you do a title search, and it's from someone who passed away 50 years ago, and you can't sell it with that. So you have to update the deed. So we jumped in very quickly with that, and we've just expanded into residential real estate closings. And we've been involved in a number of commercial real estate negotiations and what have you as well. So we do have a pretty full service on the real estate side. And back to one of the reasons why we opened here was all the growth that's starting to happen in this town, and really not starting. It's just accelerating. It seems like there are a number of subdivisions being built. And what better let me back up. North Carolina, you're required to have an attorney for your closing. So for that, what better way to do it than have your closing right on Main Street, and after you finish that, 5 minutes later, you're putting stuff in your new home. Right. It's very convenient, and we're neighbors, so it works very well, and we're seeing that. So it's very gratifying.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. One of the things I saw that I wasn't aware of that maybe is something you're doing or starting to do, and I think you termed it as let me see if I can find it here. Business formation type services, which I take it to be you give assistance for people who wants to start businesses or new businesses or form a business.
Well, that's right.
What is that? What does that look like, Michael?
Well, in this day and age, there's a lot of legal hoops that you have to jump through to own a business. You certainly have sole proprietorships, but you have LLCs, you have C Corps, you got S Corps, and all of that requires a paperwork, plus filing with the Secretary of State, filing with the Department of Revenue, the Employment Commission. So there's a fair amount of work that has to go into opening a business outside of setting up shop and opening the doors and welcoming people in. So we definitely help with that. We help a number of businesses with that. There's work that has to be done every year. There's annual reports that have to be filed, things like that. And then as the businesses mature and the business owners get a little seasoned and mature and thinking about winding down their businesses, then there's the business succession that comes into play as well, helping them make a good decision and a good plan for removing themselves from the business and allowing the business to continue, either with a child or a loved one, a family member, or with people who worked with the business for a long time, just to help that process and smooth it out.
Right. Well, that's good, because I think we're at a point in time that I would love to see a lot of new businesses start, and I like to see a lot of grassroots business, or lack of a better term, a lot of people call mom and pop businesses, or just local business, local owners that live in town like yourself. But you were already in the profession. It's just a matter of moving to office. But I'm thinking, we have to launch Rolesville program,
That's
which
right.
a lot of people going through trying to start and learn how to start their first business. And I would think it's a lot of things that needs to be considered that people don't know. And I hope it really is a benefit for any new person or new business who want to come in town will have the avenue to do that. So thank you for that, Michael. So I do know I've seen you at Greenways next door. So I think you visit that great establishment some.
I've been there once or twice.
Right. So if you're sitting in there and somebody's talking to someone and they say, I'm thinking about starting a business. I thought about Rolesville, but I'm also thinking about Wake Forest, or I'm thinking about maybe North Raleigh. What would you say to them about Rolesville?
That I love Rolesville. We love Rolesville. We're so happy we live here. The community has embraced us. We love the people here, and it's growing. When you're opening a business, you got to have customers. So part of it depends on what type of business you have. So there are a number of factors that a business has to look at, but we're a thriving community and we have a lot of successful businesses here. And I love watching not only just a brand new business, but we have a number of home-based businesses here. And we see a lot of them growing and developing so well that they're moving into the bricks and mortar space. And I think that's a fabulous thing. And it's a testament to who our community is and how well it can help, businesses and just support them and help them grow.
Exactly. So I know Rachel's going to jump back here in a minute. I guess one of my final questions, Michael, is what has surprised you the most when you look at your business in Raleigh and you look at your business in Rolesville? What has surprised you the most about moving here and opening your business here?
I would say the biggest thing is how quickly we're growing. That we're very surprised, because you always hear the stories and they always expect you to say, you're not going to make any money for the first year, and a number of businesses close in the first year or two. And since we've opened the doors, it's been steady and growing. And I think that's a testament to the community we live in. It's just been fabulous. So thank you, Rolesville. We're getting clients from Wake Forest and Nightdale and others too, but our core business is coming right from our backyard, and we're very thankful for that. So that's probably been the biggest surprise.
And you're on Main Street.
We're on Main Street. That's right.
It's going to be a premium one day. You know that, right?
We'll see.
You got there early. So
hope so. I believe that we're here because of that. So I believe you're right. I think so. Yes, sir.
I think that's going to be a premium at some point in time. Rachel, I see you back. Do you have any questions? Did anybody have any asked any questions of Mike before we say goodbye to him?
No, we don't have any questions listed just yet, Mayor, but I do know that one of the questions that I received ahead of time, Michael, was if you offer any sessions. I know you offer consultations or anything like that, but one of the questions I did get prior to this, as we were marketing this, were questions about if you offer any type of training sessions or learning sessions for families to come in and just hear about options for estate planning. That was a really big one. Particularly because of COVID and people trying to get themselves ready. They just asked me outside of scheduling a consultation, like, did you have any blanket times of where people could come in and talk about that?
We've looked into that and frankly expected to be able to do that in the early months of opening our doors, is prepare some seminars and what have you that we could put out on social media. And we've just been so busy, we really haven't had a chance to do that. But that definitely is on our whiteboard of things to do, and hope to get to it possibly this winter. So it's definitely on our radar, and we hope to get to that. Definitely. It's a good question.
And then also, Michael, one of the key things about being engaged and being active in the community, is especially being a new business coming here, you jumped in and became active right off the jump. I don't know if it was a voluntold or type situation, but you jumped in as the chair of our golf committee. So you are actually the person that is heading up our next tournament that's happening. So, I'm not sure. And I know you're a huge golfer. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that really quick. We have a couple minutes before we go to our next guest.
Certainly, and thank you. Yes, golf is near and dear to my heart. Right after my family, I love golf, love to play it, and I was happy to jump in and help with this because it's so close to me. That so we do have a golf tournament on October 28th. Shotgun start 10 a.m. We still have some spaces available. We still have some sponsorships available. It's at Heritage Golf Club. It's a wonderful golf course. It's always in great shape. They do a great job running the tournaments for us. So it'll be a spectacular day. And I know you'll be out there, Rachel. Hopefully you will too, Mayor. But I'm looking forward to it. So yes, please, if anyone's interested, please sign up. It'll be a great time.
Well, thank you for that, Michael. And appreciate you heading that up. I didn't know your passion for golf that was that strong. But I would like to see us have everything in Rolesville. So we don't have a golf course. Maybe that's something you can head up the committee to bring a golf course to Rolesville. Once you get this tournament over with, maybe that could be your next project.
We can definitely talk about it because I wouldn't mind having one in our backyard either. So you bet.
I think we all would love that. And I will say, from some of the registrants, we have some pretty big golfers that are coming. I know Rex, I think, sent over their handicaps and everything.
Wow.
UNC Hospital, Rex, they sent over. They have some good people playing. So they sent over their handicaps. They're ready to play. And I will tell you, I know that Michael also is a former club champion at Heritage. So he's very modest and talking about himself. And so if he won't say it, I will say it. So we're definitely, I don't know if he's going to be a ringer, as they like to say, on his team, but I think he's going to have some strong competition competing this year in the golf tournament.
Well, that's a great thing. The operative word there, Rachel, is former.
Former.
That was a while ago, but yes, I do love the game. And I love playing at Heritage, so I'm happy we're there and looking forward to it and looking forward to having it there for many years to come.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for coming on, Michael. Great contribution tonight, and appreciate what you have brought to Rolesville, and it's something that we didn't have in town, and now we do, and thank you for doing that, and appreciate your involvement and your engagement. I know it's all stuff that you do that we didn't even mention. I know you work with backpack buddies and things like that, and there's so much service stuff you do in town that we didn't even mention. So appreciate all your service to town, and also the seeing us as an opportunity to expand your business here.
Well, thank you. And I encourage any business to seriously consider Rolesville because it's a great place to live and work. We're lucky we have a 1.2 mile commute, my wife likes to tell me, so it's a great thing. So thank you for having me on, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Rachel. Rolesville Chamber is a great organization to join as well. It's been wonderful for us, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, that you said 1.2 miles?
Yes.
That's pretty nice way the gas prices are going up, right?
Oh, man. Yes. It does help. That's correct.
Well, thanks, Michael. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you. I know, Rachel, you have got to know Michael over a period of last 8-9 months, maybe, or something like that.
Look, yes.
And he's really has jumped in and been a big influence in our community, wouldn't you say?
He has. He truly has been wonderful. I would say, the law office of Michael Paul, it truly is I call them the dynamic duo because Teresa is also there too. She's a great resource. She does a lot of good work with Backpack Buddies. And she's always also, as we're growing and looking for things, I know they're also looking for space too, to be able to move that here to Rolesville and not have that outside of Rolesville. So it's a lot of things that's happening, a lot of things that's moving there. And of course, with your leadership, we're excited because it's almost like, the gas pedals hit and you hit it and you don't go anywhere. Now we're finally moving, which is excited to talk about our next guest. If you're ready to move on.
I am.
He is definitely hanging backstage. And there's that wonderful picture. We'll pop him in on the side. But we do have Kenyon who's joining us. Hey, welcome. And I'm going to let you guys have a good time and talk about a couple of things. And, of course, Mayor, I'm always here if you need me. And just give me the holler and I'll come back and join you guys. But I know quite a few people are ready to hear from Kenyon too.
Right. Well, thank you, Rachel. Appreciate that. And welcome, Kenyon. Welcome to the show. I know you haven't took the big plunge and moved to Rolesville yet, but I think you are talking to us out of maybe Raleigh, I think is maybe where you're at. But I consider it just a matter of time.
I think, you are. It's a matter of a very short amount of time, actually. Funny you should mention this, and I was probably going to bring it up a little bit later on, but we actually, my wife and I have just gone ahead and put a piece of land to build a house in Rolesville under contract out there. So I am in the process of moving out. Yeah, it's officially happening now.
Yeah, I was going to say after you heard what Michael talked about, it is the place to be, I think. So, Kenyon, I know you may have seen the start of the show, and sadly we talked a little bit about Mayor Eagles, and I do know you had a relationship with him. I think he was maybe a little instrumental in actually getting you interested here, and he was mayor at the time. Maybe as a tribute, what was your relationship with the mayor, and how did that come about?
Yeah, I had a fantastic relationship with Mayor Eagles. He was a truly a wonderful man and very committed to doing what was in the best interest of the town of Rolesville. Very truly altruistic in his love for the town. He and Lisa Kane were actually two of the first people to approach myself and my father about coming out to Rolesville and doing a Lafayette Village location too, as they described it. And over the years while he was in office, and even for a while after, he served as a sort of a dear mentor of mine, and really. He taught me a lot about what it means to be in government and the good things that a good person can do for their community. And he probably didn't realize he was doing it at the time. He was just sort of one of those guys who really led by example and just did what he thought was right and in the best interest of his town, and truly altruistic in that process. So he's going to be very dearly missed, by yourself, I'm sure, and by many of his friends, family, colleagues, and me. I mean, He's truly a fantastic guy, and it's funny as I'm sitting here as we're talking about it, I can already hear him yelling at me to, all right, that's enough talking about me. I want you to tell everyone about what's going on at the corner. So
yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I say that, like you said, I say that he will be missed, but if you look around town, he won't be forgotten.
No,
because
yeah.
you can see things all around town that he had influence in, and got us to where we're at today.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he definitely will be missed. Your project now. I know we had the groundbreaking, and I see some fence up there, and some work going on behind the fence. Describe to people that are interested in knowing what you got going on there. What is and I think you landed on the name Cobblestone Village.
You got it. That would be correct. Yep.
Maybe talk about what that's going to be, and kind of what you got going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we were very excited about it at KDM Development. So what it's going to be is a mixed use development consisting of about 50,000 square feet of retail and 178 luxury multifamily units. These mixed use communities are kind of the new wave of real estate development, where you're supposed to be able to live, work, eat, play all in one location. And that was really our vision for Cobblestone Village here. What you're seeing up on the screen now is kind of what we've been referring to as the keystone building of the whole project. This is going to be a 3-story, about 18,000 square foot of retail building with about 36 apartments, multifamily units above it, surrounding about an acre of active open space, as we refer to it, or the green, as kind of my colloquial way of saying it. This is going to end up sort of being the central point of the project, and the first building that you'll start seeing coming out of the ground, where everybody, we'll sort of host lots of events out on that green space that spill out over into the neighboring plaza space as well. And yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic project, and it's really meant to serve as sort of the arbor point, or the central point around which the community will revolve. Again, a project we're very, very excited about it at KDM, and certainly one of the coolest things I've gotten to do to date.
Right. I guess there was several things that came together a couple years ago, about the same time, that aided each other, and a lot of it was due to Mayor Eagles and his work on that. And I guess what I'm talking about is Main Street Vision. I believe you were kind of involved in that a little bit. How important was Main Street Vision to actually the feasibility of what you're doing today?
Oh, very, very important. Yeah, that the redesign of Main Street and the elevation of the aesthetic value of that corridor was a big part of the reason why we got so excited and heavily involved in this project. There's kind of 2 phases to what's going on down there. You've got Cobblestone Village, which is happening on the corner, and then you've got the Main Street Vision Plan, which the town and members of Rolesville staff are working towards in obtaining federal grant money to bring funds down to redesign that whole street, improve traffic flow, walkability, and aesthetic value to it. And that was a big part of the reason we got involved in this project. I think, to be honest with you, I kind of fell in love with the town as soon as I got out there. I just I saw what was happening out there, and the wonderful community, and all the people I was interacting with were so fantastic. That I think ultimately we would have done it one way or another, but it was just sort of the feather in the cap, right? The nail in the coffin that said, we're absolutely doing this. We can't pass up on this opportunity. So yeah, that was a very big influence on our end, and fantastic work on behalf of the town, and getting that pulled together. It's very exciting.
Great. I know our timetable on Main Street Vision is, or Main Street improvement, to finish that is somewhere in 23, I think. And you talked about the building that we just saw as the first one that you will start constructing. When should we expect to see something open up in that building, or our first opening? One of the things Rachel and I do is plan for ribbon cuttings. So when will we have our first ribbon cutting?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that's everyone's favorite question, actually, and a very fair one, right? So right. I think what we're aiming at is very likely early 2023 is when those first restaurants will start opening up. The building should be up a little bit before that, because if you think about it, the building needs to be constructed, and then the actual physical space for each retail tenant needs to be built out for their specific use. And that second, we've got a pretty good idea as to that first portion of the timeline when the building will be up. But, that second part of getting the specific uses built out can be a little bit more fuzzy because there's a lot of, day-to-day planning that goes into that process. But I would say you can bet on an early 2023 first restaurants opening with a ribbon cutting. I think that's a pretty safe estimate. Of course, in development and construction, you never know exactly when things are going to, there's always a delay that could pop up and that could push late, early, mid 23. But I think right now we're looking at February, March of 2023 as the big ribbon cutting, so to speak.
Well, great.
Yeah.
You may have heard, if you was listening to the show earlier, I was talking to Michael Paul about, getting a golf course here. We want something that we don't have. And, you mentioned restaurants, and certainly I know a lot of people are very excited about having some new choices on restaurants. And when I say that, it's not because we don't have some very good ones already. We do have some great places to eat already here in Rolesville, but I know a lot of people excited about others coming. But especially the one that starts with the B's, I think, is the ones that excite people a lot. But what is some things? And I know you're too far early in the process to understand and know exactly what is going to be offered there. But what are some things we might see that we don't have?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, it's going to be a blend of new eateries that aren't out there now and, ones that are, kind of sort of similar to things that currently exist in the area, but kind of take a different play on it. Right. And it will add add value to both establishments, in my opinion. A lot of the groups we're talking to right now, consist of, everything from an ice cream shop and a coffee shop, up to, a full service fine dining, steak restaurant. Right. So we've got kind of the full spread of restaurants. A lot of individuals from our Lafayette Village, our sister project, Lafayette Village in North Raleigh, are kind of at a point in their careers where they're ready to open a second location with a new concept, right? So, the owner of our Italian restaurant, Farina, down here, for example, his name is Mike, a very, very talented restaurateur and entrepreneur, has been hugely successful over his career. And we've been having, extensive conversations with him about, kind of a fine dining eatery or something to that effect. So, our goal is to bring in as many kind of new niches and fill as many new niches as we can. By bringing a very wide variety of restaurants, dining options, breweries, for example. We have interest kind of spreading the full gambit, so to speak. And I think we're very excited about it. And in addition to that, a lot of boutique retailers and pet shops and, clothing stores that want to come out here as well. So I think when all's said and done, you're going to see kind of a community center that really elevates the entirety of the economy in Rolesville, where you've got people coming from out of town to visit here, and then they go to they go across the street to the furniture store, and then down the road to the Mexican restaurant to eat something down there. I mean, it's going to be a really, really cool synergistic flow that's created by putting this out here. And when I say we're excited, it's kind of an understatement at this point. I think we're bringing in a ton of new opportunity and new restaurants and new options for people that will be very well received, in my opinion.
Right. One of the things I think our Board of Commissioners have a big passion on is for our community to be walkable. It's two ways and bikeable too. You didn't mention a bike shop, but that may be something that, a lot of people have asked me about, when we're going to get a bike shop in town. Because a lot of people like biking. Biking is, especially since the COVID pandemic, it's got much more popular. And I think at one time you couldn't find a bicycle. They were sort of like some of the other things, they were hard to find. Mm-hmm. But I think two ways to make it walkable has to do with sidewalks, but also our greenway systems, and we like to we got a lot of discussion on our board about tying everything on Main Street to greenways, mm-hmm. And I think yours is tied to our greenway system, if I'm correct or not.
You sure are. Yeah, actually, one of the things that was so exciting about this project was the opportunity to build something like this. right next to one of the coolest public parks in the area, in my opinion. Main Street Park has got, it's big, and it's got walking trails, and has greenway trails that connect you throughout the entire town, all the way to Wake Forest and beyond that, even if I'm remembering correctly. And so yeah, we were really pretty excited by the opportunity to tie this project's walkability into the greenway trail itself, and give people the ability to cut through there and walk to the middle school and the housing developments that exist up in behind Main Street Park. The whole goal of this project was to make it as walkable as possible. We want people biking in, like you just said, and we are working on that bike shop. I can't say that we're working on that. Walking in, biking in from the surrounding community. It's great to have the option to drive your car, and we certainly encourage it. We've got a lot of parking out there to make sure we can accommodate that. That the town board has been fantastic in working with us to make sure we hit those ratios properly. But the other side of that coin is also making sure we can tie in as much walkability as possible, so that those who don't want to drive can walk on down. It doesn't take them more than 5 or 10 minutes. Makes for a real nice Saturday evening, in my opinion.
That's correct. And also there will be quite a few residential availability units and houses within walking distance of there, a quick walking distance, if I understand that correctly.
You're correct. Yeah, no, we definitely when we put the plans together initially, we spent quite a bit of time making sure we were able to plug in and work around the existing buildings, for example, that we've got up in front of us here, the existing buildings and the existing walking trails that are out there. I think it's hugely important to us that everybody that lives in Rolesville gets to enjoy all of Rolesville. We don't want anyone not being able to come because of a parking problem. We want you to be able to walk or bike or get there however is most convenient for you. It's definitely makes for a fantastic project on our end, and makes for a really great community center on the town. So it's a kind of a perfect mutual interest, alignment of mutual interest there.
That's right. And I was going to ask you about the community center. I know from the very beginning the concept was sort of structured in a way that it was a partnership between the town and you and your group, Kenyon, and our part of it was to establish a community center in town, and our board is still working with that some. I don't know if we got finalized or not, but the last meeting they were decided to not only be an event center with you can do buffets on a stage and performances and stuff like that, but also have a full court basketball type conversion to it, if you can convert it to a basketball court. So do you feel like that's a good fit in that community up there that you are building for us? And in other words, do you see it as being an important thing to have there?
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sort of creates the central point for the whole project, in my opinion, right? It gives the town and the citizens of Rolesville their opportunity to literally come in and build out the center of their town the way they want it done, right? And that community center we kind of consider to be our anchor tenant, so to speak. Of that's a big traffic driver, and I mean foot traffic driver. A lot of people are going to be coming in to use that community center for whatever events you guys are holding there, or simply to play basketball. And then while they're out there, they'll pop over and do a little shopping or grab a bite to eat. And it just, again, it creates for such a good synergistic flow throughout the whole property. The most excited I was throughout this whole process was when, and I believe it was you, Mr. Mayor, when you and I had that conversation about, the fact that you guys were going to be doing this community center in the center of the whole project. And I remember saying something along the lines of, "Oh, that is completely perfect. You could not think of a better use than that." So we're so excited about that community center and right in the center of the project. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that final design as it comes out. I've gotten a couple of sneak previews in conversations with the town's hired architects as we kind of work to make sure that everything they're doing fits into the footprint that we've designed out there. So they've given me a couple of sneak peeks, which I guess they probably get a little upset with me for telling you that, but they did, and it looks completely beautiful. They've done a fantastic job, and all credit to the town for going out and bringing on board a group that is truly talented and really knows what they're doing. I was pretty taken aback at how wonderful it looks when I first saw it.
Well, that's great.
Mhm.
Just a couple final things, Kenyon. I know, we're growing, and with that comes some questions being asked. Why we do this, why we do that, and one of the things got very quickly is why we putting a fence up down there so you can't see what's going on. But I know if you go in the city of Raleigh, everything is fenced off, and I'm sure it has to do with some safety purposes. You are building, I think, is it 4-story or 5-story buildings down there?
It's 4-story in the back and then 3-story up front.
Right. So I know you don't want people climbing and kids in there,
Yeah.
doing stuff like that. So you don't have anything secret going on. It's just more or less for safety and security. Is that right?
That's totally correct. Yeah. We need to make sure my construction manager would call it maintaining a controlled site. We just want to make sure, on the very off chance that a kid runs in after a ball down there or just wanders onto the site, that they don't pose a risk of harming themselves or someone else. It's purely a safety thing. And actually, funny you should mention that. I was just having a conversation the other day with Charles Assinger, our construction coordinator, about maybe cutting a couple of holes in the fabric so people can peer in and take a look. Because I did notice some people peering around when I was out there the other day, and I was like, well, we're kind of defeating the purpose out here. We don't want people to think, like you said, like we're hiding things from them. So,
right.
Again, yeah, it's purely a safety thing. But yeah, we should, maybe next time you're out there, you'll see me with out there with some scissors cutting some holes in there so people can see. And I'd like y'all to be able to participate and enjoy the process as much as we get to.
That's great. I know since you mentioned that, I didn't think about it, but since you mentioned that, in some of these downtown areas I've been to, they don't put up a fence, they put up boards, and board it off.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes they cut a hole in the board so you can see what's going on. And I think it'd be good for the citizens to see that thing come up once, you start building. It's going to be amazing, amazing thing to watch. And the sidewalk goes right by there. And
sure does. Yeah, we are over the moon. With this project, it's been it's been a long road getting here, and just one of the coolest moments of my career so far was that groundbreaking ceremony with y'all. So believe me, it means the world to me that y'all have the town and the community has accepted us with such open arms. The magnitude and the gravity of a project like this is certainly not lost on myself or anyone at KDM. We understand how important this is for the town, and we consider it to be one of the most important things we're doing right now. So believe me, we are out there every day making sure things are going correctly. And like I said, I'll make sure to come back and cut a couple holes in the fabric so people can take a look and experience it with us.
That's right. So do you play golf?
I play a lot of golf, and I'm not good, but I do play.
Well, Michael's looking for somebody to play, so
I took a picture of the when he was up and I was sitting here. I took a picture of the tournament invite. You might be seeing my name pop up on that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I hope as we grow, we'll continue. And I think you are seeing that now. Mm-hmm. Our community is really supportive for each other. We all in this together. We all live together. We all play together. In future, we'll have more playground to play on, right? So we're all in this together, and we all support each other, and appreciate the support your company's doing, your dad's doing for the community. And I know once you move here, you're going to be even more active in doing that. I guess before you leave, Kenyon, I asked you a lot of questions, and any possibility. One of the questions coming from Paul. Paul, he's on our board. One of the commissioners.
Right. Yeah, I sure do. Yeah, not very, very nice guy. Yeah.
So he's right. Sometimes you see all sorts of things. I know they had one time on the birth of some baby animal in a zoo one time.
Yeah, the elephant, right, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe it was. I can't remember what it was, but it was a zoo type event. So he's asking, is it possible to put a live cam at the construction site where people can watch it online? I guess he didn't say online, but I'm sure that's what he's talking about.
Honestly, a very good question, and I'm a little ashamed to sit here and say I hadn't thought of doing that myself. So that's something I guess I'm going to have to go take a look into. Let me write that down real quick. I hadn't even considered the possibility of doing that. That's a good idea, Mr.
Yeah, you can be able to watch it from your office then, won't you?
Yeah, well, I can really keep an eye on those guys out there. I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
Exactly. So before I leave, is there anything you want to let us know that I didn't ask a question on, or any closing thoughts?
I think you covered it. Again, we are just so honored to be a part of this, and are really looking forward to getting this thing up and running, and then going on to do many other great things in the town of Rolesville. It's we have more we're trying to do out there than any other area in Wake or Durham County right now. So this is it's a focal point for KDM right now, is coming in and putting things on the ground that the town and its citizens want, and things that make sense. So we've got other things quietly in the works that hopefully they'll start coming forward in the next few months to a couple of years. And I heard that comment about the wanting a golf course out there, so might have to take a look into that as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. Here's another comment from Abby. We'll be yeah, she's with you, right?
She sure is, yeah.
We'll be starting an Instagram page for Cobblestone soon, and posting updates. One question I asked, I think you landed on Cobblestone Village.
That's correct.
I believe. Where did that come from? Is it just something you picked, or is there a meaning to Cobblestone Village?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. And funny enough, you were the first person to ever ask me that. So when we were originally naming it, it kind of came down to 3 different name options. Cobblestone Village stuck out to the partnership primarily because we actually intend on lining a lot of the plaza areas and the hardscaping with actual cobblestones. And, that was always kind of an intention of ours, that, cobblestones are nice because they kind of twofold. One, they're really durable, which we like. And 2, they look great. Add a lot of character to a development. So, we figured, we're going to have this cobblestone kind of all over the place. And I think it makes for a good theme for the kind of the feeling of the project. And that's kind of where the name came from. Funny enough, that's funny. You're the first person to ever ask me that question.
Well, that's great. Cobblestone is sort of historic too. I think that's maybe the original way you paved roads back then. I don't know. I think it goes back for a couple thousand years.
You're correct. Yeah. Rolesville's an old town. That's the cool
That's
thing.
right.
So, yeah, I think I think that was another component to it as well. Now that you mention it, that got brought in, is it has the right feeling to it as well, and puts forth the right kind of picture in your mind when you look at it. The other one we were toying with was sort of a name that played off the park that was in behind us, something to the effect of Arbor Village or Arbor Point. But Cobblestone seemed to kind of put the idea in people's head that it's supposed to be kind of a rustic, and the whole idea behind the development was always to make it feel like it'd been there for a long time already, and it didn't just pop up overnight and all modernized. So I think Cobblestone did a good job of kind of putting that out in people's mind.
Well, thank you. I would ask Rachel to come on back. I believe we're getting ready to wrap up. It's almost 8:00. Rachel, did you have any free questions for Kenyon before we let him go?
Well, I do have the one thing for the golf tournament. I mean, just come on, bring a team of 4. Just bring a team of 4. Go ahead and sign up. You can sign up on the Chamber's website, sign up as a VIP, you can sponsor. But I also wanted to tell you, Kenyon, we kicked off our meeting we're doing a community guide for Rolesville that will be published in March of 2022. So I'll definitely, Michael or myself will be following up with you, because that community guide will go to every resident in Rolesville. It will also be electronic. We're going to do it so that you can click on it from the town's website and the Chamber's website and view it and make it interactive. But that also will be a great way to get information out as much as you can. I know there's some things we can't release and can't say anything about, but that's something also for you all to think about as we're kind of preparing for that, because it gets printed in 2022. So
great.
I'll make sure to follow up with you about that.
Please do. Yeah, I'd love to participate.
Look, yeah, but no, that's it, Mayor. I mean, once I heard golf and I heard he's going to bring a team of 4. I mean, I'm like,
hey, that's it. That's it. Thank you, Kenny. Anything you need, reach out to us. And good luck on your project as it proceeds.
Sounds good. Thanks again, guys. I certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank
Take
you.
care, Kenyon.
Thank you. Well, Rachel, I think it was a great show. I hope, one of the purposes we want to do is kind of educate people a little bit, let them know a little bit more what's happening in Rolesville, what's going on here.
Yes.
Maybe give some question and answers. And I hope we did that.
Yes. And I do want to say, thanks to Lou. Lou also was watching. Lou had a comment for Michael Paul. He said, thank you for an interesting and informative interview. And I think that's the beauty of having people on and business owners on like Michael, to go in and answer some of those questions that people may not be thinking about, or to at least explain the differences, because I learned something new tonight that I had no idea about. So I do think that it is definitely great information to have. And then also, Mayor, we have coming up. So I will say, for anyone who is watching this, we always want to make sure people know about the show and know what's going on. So we'll tell them about our next one. So we are scheduled to have our next show on November 11th. We do know that's Veterans Day, but this is what we have. The show may change a little as we go to mark and remember veterans, and definitely want to make sure, but we definitely want to get that show date out. We will be back on November 11th, same place, same time, same location, so that you can watch the mayor. Be prepared to ask questions. We always love it when the community interacts with us and asks us questions about, what the show topics are, what's going on, what's not going on. And then also we want to make sure that people have a chance, Mayor, especially for you. A lot of people don't think about and remember the fact, or know the fact, that you're so approachable. So that's why I love doing stuff like this, because people, when they think of a mayor, I don't know if they know how approachable you are. So that's a plus. And then also, just want to say once again, in memory of Frank Eagles, he was a great person. He did a lot for Rolesville. He put his heart out there for a lot of things and fought for a lot of the things that you're seeing happening now. So definitely want to put that out there and say that, we all suffered a hard loss today, and how much we appreciate him and the work that he did for Rolesville in itself. So.
Yep. And I agree with you, and I'm glad we ended on that note, because and it was just fortunate by sheer luck that we had Kenyon on tonight, because I know, as you know, Rachel, Frank was very instrumental in that, getting that started, and Kenyon verified that, and so it was a great night to have that tribute. To be able to see some of the stuff he got started, and very nice. And the next show will be on Veterans Day. We'll have it at 7:00. So I know we do a lot of celebration of veterans around here. Our memorial is closed right now because, as we know, there's construction work going on up there. But I will put a plug out that Wake County Council of Veterans has organized the 2021 Veterans Parade and Ceremony to be held November the 6th. And that's in downtown Raleigh. Be starting about 9:30, finishing about 10:30. So, put that on your calendars. I think Rolesville has always, and our commissioners has always been very veteran focused, and I don't know if we will have, probably won't have a guest on next Veterans Day, but we'll certainly talk about some things, and our commissioners like Paul Vilger, he spoke in there. He was very instrumental in getting our banners up. So, our banners on Granite Falls Boulevard. So we are very focused on that. And I hope everybody have some a good fall and start of November. And we will be back. We'll be back November 11th, I think, is the date, Rachel.
Yes, we will be back November 11th.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for listening in tonight.